Hi and welcome to I Hit Drums. This is lesson 16 of my beginner video course. Today we're going to get to know the cymbals a little bit better. Up until now we've focused on grooves, mainly using the hi-hat, and in the last lesson where we actually played a song, we did add a little bit of crash towards the end. But we're going to have a closer look today at the ride cymbal and the crash cymbal. And I'll go over how to play these correctly, show you what kind of sounds you can get, and explain how these different sounds can be used within different musical scenarios. So back when I released lesson 2, this was focusing on the drum kit and its parts and the notes that went with those different parts of the drum kit. And that it did include the crash cymbal and the ride cymbal. But just to recap the notation for the crash cymbal and the ride cymbal, we have the crash, which looks like this, and it's actually an X with a circle around it, which is higher up than where the hi-hat normally sits. Now, sometimes in certain books, the crash cymbal won't have a circle around it. You just have the X with a line through the middle, and it'll still be in the same position, but it won't have that circle. The ride cymbal is again another X, but this one sits slightly lower than the hi-hats. So instead of the X sitting on the top line, we actually have the top line running through the middle of that X, and this is what the ride cymbal looks like. But so we can get used to the cymbals, let's move to the kit and get started. To begin with, I just want to show you how to play the cymbal and the different areas of the cymbal that can create different sounds, but also something that you should never do. Generally, you want to play it using the tip of the stick rather than the body of the stick, because that tip of the stick is a very small surface area, so when you strike the cymbal on top, it's going to create a nice ping. Now you might have noticed I was kind of playing in the middle of the cymbal, sort of between what we call the bell of the cymbal at the top and the edge of the cymbal. This kind of area where at least my cymbal has this different band of colour, that's quite a nice spot to play the ride cymbal because you're going to get a lot of qualities of the different areas of the cymbal. It's going to have a nice ping, but it's also got a slight washiness to it. Now if I play nearer the edge, you'll hear that that kind of washiness increases. Likewise, if I play nearer the bell of the cymbal, the washiness reduces, but it gets a bit more pingier. And as I've mentioned a couple of times now, we also have the bell of the cymbal, which is the bump in the middle. This particular area of the cymbal, you don't want to play with the tip of the stick because that's actually going to sound a bit thin. And it's also quite hard to strike it consistently when you've got such a small surface area. So you actually want to use the shoulder of the stick, so just where the stick gets fat. You want to use that area of the stick and you want to come across this way, not from the outside in. You want to go towards the cymbal from your direction and you're going to strike it with that part of the stick. And you get a nice pronounced bell sound. Now something you don't want to do with any cymbal is hit it on the edge. So like this direction. You don't want to be hitting it on the edge like that. Likewise, you don't want to be kind of coming down too hard right on the edge of the cymbal, because that's how you're actually going to risk cracking the cymbal. And cymbals are expensive, so try not to break them. So to get you used to playing this cymbal, all we're going to do is we're going to try the 3 key grooves from the song Savannah, which was lesson number 1, and we're going to try those grooves on the ride cymbal instead of the hi-hat. So we'll actually play key groove 1 into key groove 2 into key groove 3 and then back to key groove 2. Let's give it a try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, Nice and easy. The best way to get familiar with that cymbal is to just play a bunch of grooves you've already played on the hi-hat, but just do it over there. Something else to watch out for is that cymbals can wobble. The hi-hats are quite stationary because you've got your foot kind of keeping pressure on them, but the cymbals can wobble around quite a bit, and the harder you hit it, the more it's going to wobble around. Likewise, if you're really gripping your stick and you're kind of pushing the cymbal, it's going to wobble a lot, and you don't really want that. That wobbling is going to make it harder to play. So try not squeeze the stick too much. Make sure the stick can bounce off of the cymbal, much like you would hit a drum. You don't want to be pushing the cymbal. So you don't want this. See how much that wobbles? You want this. So I was still playing that quite hard, but because the stick was rebounding off the cymbal didn't wobble very much. Okay, something else we're going to try just now though, just to further strengthen your playing on the ride cymbal, is we're going to do 2 bars of groove on the hi-hat, and we'll just take that first nice and easy groove from Savannah, and then we're going to do the same groove on the ride cymbal for 2 bars. So 2 bars on the hi-hat, and then straight into 2 bars on the ride cymbal. And we're going to do that whole thing twice around. And this is going to get you used to moving from the hi-hat to the ride, back to the hi-hat, back to the ride. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's move on to the crash cymbal. So the crash cymbal, you're actually going to play this differently to the ride cymbal. Whereas with the ride cymbal, we're focusing on using the tip of the stick. With the crash cymbal, you can play it that way, and it does sound all right. But that can still sound a bit ride-like. So try and use a bit more of the body of the stick, similar to how we played the bell of the ride cymbal. But make sure, this is very important, make sure you do this on the top of the cymbal, not on the edge. And that's going to give you this. Now, in order to get that kind of crash, washiness kind of sound when you're using that part of the stick, remember with the ride cymbal, the further we got to the edge, the more washy it got. It's the same for the crash cymbal. So you don't want to be playing in the middle of the cymbal. You want to be kind of coming a bit nearer the edge, but remember, not on the edge. Now, the crash also has a bell. And you're going to play that the same way that you play the bell on the ride cymbal. So again, using the shoulder of the stick. Something that often happens within drumming on the crash cymbal, which doesn't happen so much on the ride cymbal, is actually starting a groove with a hit on the crash. So instead of just playing a groove like this, the very first hit with that bass drum is a crash. So let's do the first key groove from Savannah twice around, but instead of just doing it all on the hi-hat, the very first hit, we're going to play a crash cymbal. Let's give it a try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that crash hit is often used when you're coming out of a fill. So not too long ago, we looked at the toms and different rhythms and making fills around the kit. Quite often, when you come out of those fills, there's a crash hit. Something like. So that's one way the crash can be used. It's also often used to kind of illustrate the start of a new section. So if you're going from a chorus to back into a verse, or even from like an introduction into a verse, you might hear a crash on the very first hit of the verse. And it kind of signals to the listener that we're entering a new section of the song. Now, something similar to that, which is a bit trickier, is when you've got a groove that starts with 2 bass drums. Like that. If you've got a crash on the first hit, you're going to be playing a crash with a bass and then a hi-hat with a bass. And the independence for that, the coordination between the right hand and the foot, can be a bit tricky because the right hand is moving between 2 sounds, but the right foot is staying on the same sound, the same drum. Let's just do a couple of practices of those 2 hits. You're going to go crash, hat, but with bass underneath both of them. 3 and 4 and. And again, 3 and 4 and. So let's do the third key groove from Savannah with a crash on that first hit. We're going to do it twice around. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, because that particular groove has bass, bass on the 3 and as well, you might have found your hand going back for the crash cymbal on beat 3. That's not unusual. I do see that quite a lot with pupils learning this for the first time. So that's why that groove is quite a good one to practice this with, because you need to develop that control to hit the crash on the 1, and when the foot's doing the same thing on 3 and, you don't repeat that crash hit. Now, in a similar fashion to how we played the ride cymbal, we can play the crash cymbal like that, not in terms of the pingy sound, but in terms of always hitting it. You can have a section that's just going. And this is quite an aggressive, trashy sound, whereas the ride cymbal is quite a delicate, kind of pingy sound with a bit of wash. So when you're writing your own parts, if you're joining a band and you're coming up with new parts, actually think about the sounds of those cymbals, because that's gonna influence what you do and what you play on the kit. If you're playing, a verse, let's say, you might decide to just keep that on the hi-hat. There might be a guitar solo, maybe you play that on the ride cymbal, or a chorus on the ride cymbal, and then there might be a really aggressive section of the song, and that could actually be played on the crash cymbal. But don't feel like you have to just stay with one sound for the whole song. Try let the emotion of the song come across in the kind of textural choices of the sounds. Let's do 2 bars of that Savannah groove again on the hi-hat, followed by 2 bars on the crash cymbal, and then 2 bars on the hi-hat, 2 bars on the crash. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you may have noticed there that the crash cymbal, because you're not striking it with the ping, the stick isn't rebounding in the same way. And that does mean that the cymbal itself can wobble quite a bit more. But don't be tempted to really tighten the cymbal with the wing nut in the middle, because if that cymbal can't move, then when you hit it, there's going to be a lot of tension within the kind of hole in the middle of the cymbal. And again, if there's too much tension and it can't move freely, then the middle of the cymbal can actually crack as well. So don't over tighten the cymbals. But let's see if we can put all these ideas together and move between. We're going to try and combine a lot of these ideas that we've just worked through with the crash and the ride. And to do that, we're going to take a 2-bar phrase, and it's going to be 2 grooves from Savannah. It's going to be key groove 2 and key groove 3. So together, that sounds like this. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to play those 2 bars on the hi-hat, but we're going to add a crash to the first hit of both bars. We're then going to do the same 2 bars, but instead of playing it on the hi-hat, we're going to play it on the ride cymbal. And again, we're going to add a crash to the first hit of each bar. Now you might need to practice that movement going from crash to hat that we did earlier, but now crash to ride, particularly when you're playing bass, bass in that second bar. Once we've done that, we're going to do 2 bars again, same 2 grooves, all on the crash cymbal. And then we're going to finish it off with 2 bars back on the ride cymbal, again with a crash at the start of each bar. Let's give it a try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there you go, quite a straightforward exercise, and if you want to extend the amount of bars on the hi-hat before you move to the ride cymbal, just do 4 bars instead of 2 or even 8 bars. The important thing is that you get comfortable moving between these different cymbals, but also you're working on how to strike the cymbals correctly. That's really important. And also try and experiment with how hard you're hitting the cymbals. You know, when you play the ride cymbal quite delicately, you're going to get a very fine sound. But when you start to kind of lay into it a little bit, you're going to get more of that wash. So it can take a while to get a feel for, you know, how your own cymbals respond. But your comfort playing these cymbals is going to be really important in the next lesson. Hopefully by now you've got a much better sense of how these different cymbals work and the kind of sounds you can get from them. Also maybe when to use them. And you might need to spend a little bit of time working on that last exercise, moving between those different options. But the cymbals can really add a lot of different textural things to your playing. In the next lesson, we're actually going to take advantage of this new knowledge and we're going to work on a new song called Forget It, which utilizes all of the cymbals and all of the drum kit and everything else we've worked on up until now. But until next time, enjoy.